Hello and good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Karina. How's everybody doing? You can either answer or you can give me a little emoji or you can put it in the chat. Whatever makes you happy and
Hello.
joyful. Hello. Hello, Mr. Doug. How are you?
Oh, not too bad for an old guy.
There's no old people here, okay?
Oh, okay.
Just saying.
Maybe I just feel old.
Oh, we're young. We're gonna feel old some days and we're gonna feel young some days. It's whichever the cookie crumbles, right?
I guess so.
Yeah. How are you, Sunita? How are you, Niska?
Really good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Trekking along, trying to enjoy my summer in between working. I'm slacking, I have to say, I'm slacking.
So where do you live, Katrina?
It's Karina. There's no T in my name.
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
No worries. I'm in Toronto right now.
Okay.
I kind of live all over the map, but I'm in
Uh-huh.
Toronto right now.
Very good.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm Canadian, I'm Polish, I'm like Brazilian, kind of, sort of, by association. It's good to see everybody. If you feel like getting on camera, you can. If you don't feel like it because you're just like, it's not my day, man, it is not my day, then you do not have to. Some people's cameras aren't working. There'll probably be other folks that will just be joining us. If you have a question as I'm going along, just put it in the chat or just like put your hand up. I may not see it when I'm sharing screen. So if it's like, oh, super urgent and like you need to ask it immediately as I'm going through things because you just will die if you don't or you will forget, then just yell, then just like scream and I'll get to you. All right. Let me access my slides and then we will go right into it. So today's workshop will be all about answering some questions that people have submitted. And then I'll go into what does it take to actually publish a best-selling book? Because there seems to be a lot of misconception in terms of, you know, I hit publish, I'm live, woohoo, the money's gonna roll in, right? And it doesn't happen. And then we're like, what went wrong? What happened? So I'll go through some things and then we'll have a little Q&A. Feel free to ask a question. It's going to be super chill. I'm very approachable. So whatever question you have on your mind. And, I'm going to say, please don't worry about asking simple questions, right? Because in your mind, that question might be stupid or it might be like just too simple. There's literally no such thing in publishing. Every question is valid. Every question you ask, someone else went, oh, I never thought of that. Okay, so you're actually helping others by asking your questions. So feel free. If you're going to ask a question, put it in under everyone, because that is where I'm actually going to just turn this off, just only because I'm going to be providing what do you call it? A recording after this. So there's no need to take notes. Okay, let me start going. Let me get moving and then we will go from there. Okay, friends. So the question that everyone always asks is, why is my book not on page one? Why can't I see my book? So we're going to dive into that. What does it take to actually stay on page one? So when you publish, you actually end up on page one fairly quickly. And then what happens is you start to notice that you cannot find your book. So Amazon begins to push it down, right? Lower and lower down the page it goes. We know through years and years of doing this, us in the publishing industry, that when you're not on page one, it's very difficult to sell your book because people just don't look beyond the first 20 listings. So why, we need to know why writing a great book isn't enough, because nobody's in the business of writing bad books, right? But why isn't this enough? And what does Amazon need to see before it starts to recommend your book? So the very first thing is Amazon is not a bookstore, right? As much as it looks that way online, Amazon is actually a search engine, right? Is there anybody that would disagree that Amazon is an actual search engine? All it's doing all day long, it is looking for books that it can show to people, right? That's all that it's doing. It is matching what they're asking for with what you got, boo, right? What are you selling? Think of your book as another product, like a vacuum cleaner or a computer or a lamp. That's all it is to Amazon. It is just checking, right? And it's looking for proof that people want that thing that you have to sell. So the most activity that will happen with Amazon, the moment you hit publish, it's actually in the first 72 hours of being published. Okay. The first 72 hours matter the most. So we're looking at the first 3 days. Amazon is hyperactively learning everything that it can about the book. This is the moment where you don't want to confuse the algorithm. This is where Amazon is looking at customers that are clicking on your listing. They're clicking. They're looking at reviews. They're leaving reviews. They're looking at the book. They're actually stopping on your cover and just hovering and reading. Amazon is counting all those seconds. The very first 72 hours is where Amazon will decide which way it's going to go. Is it going to go up the page or down the page? Because it's not clear what you're actually trying to sell. Amazon will reward momentum. So the quality is very important, right? Nobody here should ever be in the business of just creating a book for the sake of creating a book. Because in 6 months or less, that book will absolutely disappear. It will just get buried. So quality absolutely is important. However, it rewards momentum, meaning it wants to see action. It wants to see people look at it, people click on it, people buy it, people leave reviews. That's momentum. When it's seeing this, it's noting, this is good. I need to push this to more people. When it's not seeing that, it's going, okay, I need to just like move this book out of the way because I got to make room for the other things that are being published right now. So the biggest misconception in publishing that I have found so far through coaching and teaching is that authors consistently think that a great book is all you need. That could not be further from the truth. That's just a starting point. Everything else that we do with that book, and that includes the actual prep for launch, that is what matters. Okay, a great book is awesome when everything else has been done correctly. That great book will sell for a long time. So here's another question that I think it's really, really important. Why publishing without researching your keywords, your categories, and your competition can make your book invisible from day one? So do you know that most people who publish never, ever, ever do any research in terms of competition, keywords, or categories? They don't actually understand who they are going up against. So why is this important to know? Because customers actually type in specific keywords to look for specific things. So if I were to say to you, Doug, I'm going to use Doug as an example. Doug, if let's say you're going to Amazon to buy something, give me an idea what you would buy. Just anything.
New camera.
A new camera, fantastic. What kind of words would you put into the search window to look for that camera?
Top camera sales.
Top camera sales. What else? What could you, anybody else can chime in, by the way. You're looking for a camera. What could you put in the search window?
Would you search for reviews, maybe? Camera reviews?
Yeah, you could, but right now we're just searching for a product on Amazon. So if I'm searching for a product, sorry, somebody speaking? Say it again because I didn't hear. Okay. It doesn't, anybody can chime in. I'm looking for a camera. What am I typing in? Could I type in easy camera to use? Could I be more specific and type in a specific brand of a camera?
Maybe
Could I,
compact camera?
a compact camera? I could type in Canon camera. I could type in reusable camera. Type one-time use camera. Do you see how many things? Those are keywords. How many things I could type into that search window? So imagine you are publishing your book, you have a specific topic, but you're not using the right keywords to publish. Can a customer find your book? No. Why? Because Amazon has no clue what your book is about. So how can it push it to the right customer? So if you miss this, it's extremely difficult for you to be shown to the right people. Categories work the same, but categories, and this is where my clients are always number one in 2 or 3 or 4 categories, because we make sure we choose the correct categories so that that category will then determine whether or not you're going to get the bestseller badge.
So, Karina, when you say category, is that what you refer to when you call it what genre you're in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, for example, mine is on my adventures as a roving ambassador, doing humanitarian projects and monitoring humanitarian projects around the world, some of which is developing countries, of course. So what would my category be when it's a memoir about my human aid, humanitarian aid activities around the world. What would you say my category is?
So you have many different categories that you can choose from, and you would have to find those on Amazon, but I would probably look under humanitarian works,
Uh,
right? So it needs to match what you are publishing, right? And we have more than one. Your bestseller tag can also come from more than one category, and it can also come from being a bestseller overall on Amazon. The moment the bestseller badge isn't necessarily because you want to flaunt it, although I always flaunt it. I mean, why not? The bestseller badge, what it shows the customer and what it does to the book is that it ends up being number one in that category. Would you, as a customer, choose a book that's number one or number 10? Which one would you choose? Duh, right? Number one. Boo! What? That book is number one. Guess what I'm buying? I'm buying number one. Why would I settle for number two? Nobody wants to settle for number two in life, period. Right? This is why this is important. Categories determine who's going to see the book. So if you're choosing wrong categories, ain't nobody seeing your book, my friend. Because Amazon's like, I don't even know who this is for. Let me just like, no, I don't know who this is for, so I'm not gonna even show it. Amazon hates to show the wrong books to the wrong people. This is actually that goes against their policy. This creates what we call really bad customer experience, and Amazon is absolutely against bad customer experience. So the moment they are confused, they're not going to show your book because in their mind, they're like, no, we're not going to chance this. Okay. The other thing that I want you to think through is customer research. I'm actually publishing my next best-selling book right now. Okay. I'm doing my videos like every couple of weeks. I'm uploading my video. And I'm on number 3, I believe, video now in that bestseller process that I'm doing, which, by the way, you can follow along and watch me create my next best-selling book. And I will put the link here in a little bit, but you literally can watch me. Actually, I'm going to do it right now because I will forget after, and then I'll show you. Um, there it is so important that you understand how to fully do customer research. Here's the link. I just put it in the chat. Because my friends, what happens is when we don't understand how to do solid customer research, we absolutely cannot sell the book. We won't sell it. No one will buy it because we may be in a topic that is either so saturated or people are just not interested and we think they are interested. So I'm going to have about 5 videos just on customer research in this thing that I'm doing with publishing my own book. Because when I publish, I know everything about my customer. I know everything about who's going to buy that book. There's no question in my mind because that is literally what will help me to beat my competition. And I don't know about you, but I love to make money on my books. I don't create passion books. I mean, I'm passionate about every single book, but I need to make money on them because it takes me 4 months to create a book. It takes all of that, all of that time. So I'm publishing, I'm making money. The other thing that I want you to think about is why your titles, subtitles, and covers matter just as much as the content inside. This is where people miss the ball altogether because we're so passionate about what we're doing that we don't actually create books with proper titles. We make up titles that sound fun to us. Okay. So I've heard titles like Unstoppable, Make It Happen, Go Big. Do you know what any of those books are about? What is a book about Go Big? What is that book about? If customers can't figure out what's in it for them, they will not buy your book. Customers take 3 seconds flat to decide if they're going to click on your listing or not. They look at your thumbnail, generally on their phone, so it looks super small. If they can't figure out what you're selling and how you're going to better their lives, you will not sell. So we need to create titles and subtitles that sell, that they are keyword rich, they are benefit driven. A customer should be able to look at your book and go, boom, this is exactly what I've been looking for. If they can't figure that out in under 40 seconds, they're scrolling past your listing. Okay. The other thing is the cover. Look at the cover has to hold its own next to a best-selling book in your category. If your cover is homemade, Canva made, I don't know, really not at par with what a cover should look like on Amazon, Amazon will absolutely not push it. And the reason why is because most customers on Amazon will stop on your book based on your cover. Then they look at the title, then they look at everything else. They scroll on their cell phone. So it's small. So what are they attracted to? They're attracted to the colors. It needs to make sense for their topic. It needs to look professional. It's got to hold its own against a bestseller in your actual category. Imagine in your actual topic. So covers are probably one of the most important things that you do when you're creating a book. Then it's titles. Then it's the book itself. The book itself is actually number 3 on importance. It becomes important once they buy. But to get them to buy, they look at the cover and the title first. The other thing that we need to do is that we have to be clear.
Why?
Sorry, I lost you guys for a second. That was cray-cray. I'm back. If it worse comes to worse, I'm gonna have to use my cell phone. Okay, can we all see the screen again? Yes, amazing.
Why?
Perfect. So I need to be clear that the book is actually for me. As a customer, I've got to be clear that the book is, listen, if I don't know if this book is for me, I am not buying, period. And customers on Amazon are ruthless. They're like, look, don't waste my time. I don't, how many times you will see a review pop up, and this is so bad for you as an author, where somebody buys the book and then they discover it's not for them. They feel so absolutely just, it is the worst experience and the worst feeling when you buy a book, you bring it home, and lands in your doorstep, you pick it up, you're excited to read it, you open it up, and you figure out that it's not for you. You want to talk negative review? they will rip the skin off the author. And I've seen reviews that are brutally done because of that. So if they're not clear, you will suffer as an author on the review side. Lack of clarity will also get them to just scroll right past your listing because they can't figure it out. And if they can't figure it out, they're not buying. Okay. So the other thing that we will address is the shift that happens between or from when the customer thinks, oh, this is interesting, versus I need to buy this right now. This is the shift. It's psychological. It is a shift between curiosity and urgency. Notice that the first one is like, I'm so curious, versus I need it. Wow, I need it. Your book needs to trigger the I need this. And in order for them to feel that way, you have to be specific. You have to tell them what they're going to learn. How will this help them? How will it help with the pain? Because they have a pain. What's their pain? Customer research will tell you what their pain is, but you've got to spend the time to figure that out. And then you can position your book specifically as a framework, right? So if you're just telling stories, but they're looking for a solution, are the stories going to provide the solution? If they are not, then it's just a storybook. If your book isn't solution-based, then it's just a storybook. And what we're actually looking for in nonfiction is education. Stories are for fiction. If I want a story and I want to read it on the beach, guess what I'm going for? Fiction. If I'm in nonfiction, which is where I live, I better be educating my client, my reader, my customer all day long, every single day with my book, which means I need to position it as a framework. And they need to see that through the description, the look inside, the title, the benefits, the keywords, your subtitle, your cover, everything has to point to education.
So Karina, how do you accomplish that when you're doing like a memoir?
You can, it's very complicated. I'll be honest with you, that's not something I can teach you here. That's something I can teach you in my group coaching calls.
Okay.
Because that is a process and a system, Doug, and I do it all day long, every day with other customers, but it is quite complicated because it is a complete shift, and you will never, ever present anything as a memoir unless you are Oprah. Doug, you don't look like Oprah to me, which kind of sucks. Because memoirs are only sold really, and they make money when they're done by famous people. But we do it in a different way. We can position memoirs as educational books and they sell like hotcakes, but it has to be done properly. So I will give you the link to my group coaching, so that you can join and you can, my friend, publish your book correctly, because I have this feeling, Doug, your book is positioned incorrectly. I already have this feeling and I don't even really haven't seen it yet. Clarity and benefits with them. What's in it for me, author? I'm the customer. So guess what? I'm the center of the universe. I want to know what's in it for me. If you can't tell me what's in it for me, like, I'm not interested, okay? And that's literally how people are looking at your book. You need to be super clear what's in it for them. Do not be vague. Do not be vague, right? This is not the time where if you have a book about marketing, you're not going to go, oh, this is a book about marketing. No, this is a marketing one-on-one for beginners where you will learn how to do X, Y, and Z. That's how specific you need to be. Okay? Vague does not sell on Amazon. Crazy titles like coming out doesn't work on Amazon. Coming out of what? A swamp? The forest? The wilderness? The closet? Where are you coming out of from? Right? Who is it for? Who's your audience? What are you talking about? What are you teaching? What's their pain? You don't know? Why would you not know that? That's customer research. You have to know. Okay? It starts with your cover and ends with your chapters. Your chapters come second. Your chapters, your book, all the written manuscript, that's last. You need to have it. Yes. Does it have to be good? Absolutely. But where it starts at is right at the beginning. Title, cover, description, keywords, categories. It's an algorithm. The algorithm doesn't care that you have 60 years of experience. The algorithm cares, can I sell this or not? It's brutal. The algorithm is a robot. It has no feelings. It can only read ones and zeros. Okay. The last question that I think we need to address is, because this is such a huge opportunity for most authors, is, you know, why best-selling books aren't created on launch day. Most people press publish and they think that this is it. They hit the jackpot, right? And what you must do before, during, and after you hit publish. That's what we call launch prep. Launch is the result, essentially, of weeks and weeks of setup. My clients, I set them up for launch the moment we find our topic. That's 4 months before publishing. It takes us about 4 months to publish a book in my program, because there are programs that take a year. I do it in 4 months. Launch is the result. It is not the moment you hit publish. The moment you hit publish, all the work has already been done. Now we're just chilling, getting margaritas and watching what the book is doing. We've already done all the prep. Okay, so people confuse the launch with hitting publish. The second thing is, before you publish, that is when you set up your lists. You build your list, you line up your reviews, you create pre-launch buzz. I mean, you do all of this before you launch. So that on launch day, you just have to wait and see all of that work hit, and the momentum keeps bringing you up. Now, Amazon is doing the work. You've done your side of things. Now you leave it to the algorithm to help that book rise above the rest. Okay, we do that before. During publishing, we essentially coordinate the push, and there's a few different ways. We spike the algorithm. I spike it through different promotional sites, you know, through my reviews that are coming in, through lining up people to review my book. I will be doing this. I'm doing this right now as I'm going through literally publishing my next bestseller. So every single thing that I'm teaching, I'm doing myself. The link is in the chat if you want to watch me do it and you literally duplicate what I do. The last one is, after publishing, you sustain the momentum. After publishing is just sustaining momentum. It is ranking higher and higher and higher until your book starts to reach bestseller in this category, in that category, in the third category, in the fourth category. All of a sudden you see number one, number one, number one. That is how we make money. That is how we make money. It's organizing all of it before we hit there. So in the formula, because this is the formula that I use, I've been using it for 7 years. I essentially teach this and I work with clients. Not every client will fall under, finding a topic, but what I do with clients who have a business, okay, who are consultants, who are coaches, we will make sure that your business and your formula, whatever it is that you're teaching, has the right topic, the right keywords, so that you have the best possible chance of reaching number one in any given category. We need to be very crystal clear. Then we figure out who the reader is. Who are the people that are actually looking? What are you teaching them? What is their pain? Who are these people? Because my book will be designed. So to give you an idea, I just published a video in the process that I have. I'm publishing my bestseller. I just published a video there, literally today, where I'm doing customer research with AI. And look at how deep I go into customer research. I know who these people are. I know their age, where they live. Why are they buying the books on this topic? What are they looking for? What is their pain? What are they suffering from? How old are they? What are they going through? Why do they want this book? And then I go and I look at all the books on Amazon. I buy 2 or 3. And then I know how I need to structure mine to beat theirs, to take their place as number one. That's smart publishing. And I do this with all of my clients. Dude, you graduate from my program, you can publish anything about anything. Nobody cares. Because you will hit number one in some categories, I guarantee it. But that's the kind of research we do. So that's step number 2. Step 3, it's all about keywords, categories. We make sure we drop everything that Amazon's algorithm will need to understand my book and put it in front of the right people. Then we create a cover that kills it, that stops them in their tracks, because it has to. It has to. Otherwise, people will just scroll by. The cover has to be clear. It needs to show a result. People are emotionally attached to the cover. Do you know that people buy books based on emotional reaction? It's a, oh, I need this, rather than, oh, wow, that's pretty. We sell emotionally to them. And then number 5 is we write a first-class manuscript. I mean, that thing better be so good. Your book has to be good. And we can use AI all day long to do it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Amazon doesn't care that your book is AI written. Neither does your customer, as long as it gives them what they're looking for, which is value. And then you build your reader army. You get your 1,000 people. You get 100 reviews. You get those in the first 3 weeks to a month. I mean, Amazon's like, yep, this book is good. Let me push it further. Okay. Lastly, honestly, we've got to have reviews. There's no question. People are looking at them. Your readers are reading them. They want to know if this book is for them. They want to know what's good about it, what sucks about it. They want to know if you're a good author or if you're not. And lastly, we deal with ads, because no book without ads, Amazon ads, will ever survive the game. None. If you're not running Amazon ads, you cannot make money on Amazon. So this is a must. So that's the formula. This is what I teach. This is what my clients go through. Now, there's lots of success stories. I have 15 bestsellers. I've been doing this for a really long time. A lot of my students and clients are bestsellers. They make all kinds of money, really depending on where they are. There's lots and lots and lots of money to be made. And guess what? This bestseller that I'm doing right now is going to be ready by October. Because you know what I'm getting ready for? What comes 2 months later? Anybody? What do we hit in December?
Well, you're trying to get into the top Christmas sales season.
You triple your income. Q4. You triple your income. So this best-selling book that I'm doing right now, and the link I passed, no, let me put it again. So here's the coaching program. If you want to get in and you want to do this quickly and be ready with your book, I recommend the coaching. If you want to follow along and watch me build my next bestseller, here's the link for that, because that thing's gonna rock. And these are videos that I'm uploading essentially every couple of weeks as I'm working on my book. So video 5 just went up today. Let me know what questions you have, my friends. You can take yourself off mute and ask, or you can put it in the chat and ask, literally whatever is easier for you. Where's everybody at with their books?
I'm about 3/4 of the way through. I'm at about 40,000 words right now.
Okay, so try to keep it under 35,000 if you're doing a 30K book. If you're doing a regular book, because you're going to start to eat severely into your royalties. Which means,
I don't follow what you mean.
like, if your book is 40, you said it's 40,000 words?
Right now, yeah.
Keep it under 35,000.
Okay, and you gave a reason, but I didn't understand it.
You're not going, it's going to eat up your royalties. You're going to make less money on Amazon.
Why? Well, how does that work?
Print cost.
Oh, okay. So you don't want it too big so it won't be too expensive. Is that what you're thinking?
That's what I know.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to be smart when you publish, right? We want to publish and give people all kinds of value, but we want to make money. Otherwise, we're publishing and not making money. So yeah, you want to absolutely keep it affordable.
I had that issue with my first book in that it was a lot of text. And so the suggestion was that you put it in the next one or a series. So everything you've done so far wouldn't have been lost, Doug. So don't despair that you have to cut it and then it just disappears. It
Yeah.
can always be repurposed into worksheets and things like that. So it feels hard because you've poured your heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
But really, it won't be waste, but it's keeping those printing costs down. It makes a difference to your profit margin.
Yeah. Or you can do a book too, right? And that's something that I'm teaching now, which is how to create a series. So many people are in this bucket where they have very big books. Really big books don't make money. We have to divide them into 2, 3 books.
Do you recommend whether you go with the 6x9 or some people now are doing 5.5 by 8.5? Is
Yeah,
there,
I always go by six by nine generally, unless I'm doing cookbooks or some other books. I generally will go with with the bigger book.
and does that work better or it's just the way the industry is?
It works cheaper, right? It's cheaper to print because the book is smaller. So you end up making more money.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about putting pictures in books? Like a lot of my stories are very emotionally driven, and photos often drive the emotion, but most books don't have photos. Is there a recommendation to put photos in or not? Or,
I mean, I look at it from the standpoint of like how big is my book going to be at the end? Because if the photos will add a lot of pages, then I can put some photos, but not many. It's always about how much are you going to make at the end, right? Like lots of photos will increase your page count. So maybe you put a few here and there, but not lots.
yeah, I understand what you're saying. Does it matter if they're color or black and white? I know color would add to the cost substantially.
Yeah, it's really what it depends on what books in your topic look like because you need to
Okay.
stay competitive. So if you're publishing in a topic where there's a lot of books that are in color, you probably have to do color.
So
If
that's part of your competitive research
that is
then.
part of your research,
Yeah,
this is the kind of research that you need to be doing, right?
yeah,
You need to understand your own topic. It's very complicated when you don't, because then you're publishing literally the wrong thing, right? You have a question about advertising for each book. That really depends on your book, on your topic. Um, it varies. It varies. How many books you have, that also varies. You can be spending on advertising anywhere between 200 to maybe $500 a month. But when your book is doing well, your book will pay for that advertising cost. But you need to advertise that. There's no choice, right? Without advertising, the book simply doesn't make money. So that's not a if I should do it. It's kind of like how much do I spend? So you budget for that. And then you recoup that in in the months that are coming. It takes solid, I want to say 3 to 6 months for your book to begin to really, start to make good money, right? It's It takes time. So when you publish on Amazon, we don't make money immediately. We push, we make sure we do everything correctly, and then the graph should be going gradually up like this. So that can take up to 6 months. But once it's reached its momentum, you have your reviews and the reviews are good. And your book is sitting at a good average rating, which is like 4.8. Boom, your book is going to make money. The idea is to never publish just one book. People tend to think that they will publish one book and then they're going to make 10,000 a month. It's very rare that that happens, right? Mostly it's publishing book 2, book 3, book 4. That's how we begin to build the momentum. But you have to understand how to create and publish each book, right? Once you understand how to do it, then you can repeat that same process for all your other books. But if it's kind of like, when we don't know, so we run circles around the first book, we do that one incorrect, it's not making money. Then we put the second one out, we do the same thing, it's also not making money. So now we have 2 books or 3 books that are just not making money. And that's when people lose heart. Because I've had books that have failed. Everybody has them. Everybody has them. I have books that sell and they make money. I have books that have completely Just can't. For a lack of a better word, they just died. And that's okay. They're sitting there. They're making maybe $200 a month. That's all that they will ever make. It doesn't matter. But my other books are pulling the weight. So just because you have one doesn't mean that that will pay for your, that will replace your income. Do two, do three, but learn how to do them correctly. Lena asked, you said you're posting videos now to prep for your book. Where do you post these videos? In the live, here we go. Right here, I'm putting this link right here, Lena. I'm posting them. Everything lives in a private group on YouTube. So the moment the video comes out, my subscribers get it. They have the playlist. They can re-watch the videos over and over. And then they learn how, they basically follow my craziness, because I will go and I will talk to myself in there because I am going through the analysis process out loud. Does that answer your question, Lena? Awesome. Sherry, does doing a limited time launch campaign for a Kindle book help push your book up if it's a success? Time limited launch campaign. What are you doing, Sherry? Let me clarify it for me. If you can take yourself off mute and just explain it.
Yeah, I was trying to get my buttons here.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm writing my own first book right now, but I've been a member of compilation books, and they've always done a 1 day or 1 week launch sale on Kindle books and for a campaign, and we get a great group. It's really, the marketing comes before that, where we really push it, and we get a lot of people that go in, they purchase that book for 99 cents.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a bestseller in different categories, whatever category that book is put in. So I was wondering if you had your own book and you did something like that and you had a good campaign launch, will that push that book up so that you can then get your other marketing that you're putting in place to keep it up there?
Yeah, super good
Does that make
question.
sense? Yeah.
Yes, those are called basically promotional sales. They're like, we do this as publishers. You can do this on your own. You don't need to actually join any groups or anything. There are specific paid sites where you can go, and you can create that. But Sherry, here's a couple of things. Okay, I'm a very cautious publisher, because Amazon every 6 months will change their algorithm. So we've had this change happen probably about 6 months ago, where I have a very specific launch and I pair the launch, right? So the reviews with these paid promotional sites. Here's the issue. When people use these sites to go and download the book, right? So they will either buy the book or download the book for free. Amazon is now flagging those books. So we no longer pair them during the launch. So it's a word of caution. Yes, you can do those sites, and you generally will pay for that campaign, whatever it is, $100, $49, whatever. It can be 1 day, 3 day campaign, whatever it is. But you have to be careful that you're not pairing those days together with your launch dates. because that can really flag your book, and Amazon can block your ebook. And when Amazon blocks your ebook, it's very painful because you can no longer promote your book at all, because all the promotions happen on the ebook, which is the Kindle, right? That's a strategy that I had to change even for my own clients, because we've noticed people are getting blocked. People's books are getting blocked.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I know that one of my writing coaches, she just launched her book, but prior to her launching this book, she actually let a lot of us know it was there. She hadn't really promoted it yet, and a lot of us purchased it before it launched, and it really helped her sales when she did launch it.
Yeah,
It's really an interesting concept. And I bought the book. I didn't do the Kindle version.
yeah, so if it's a fiction book, you can do that. With a nonfiction book, generally, offering it up for like purchasing it before it's available, right? So those
Pre-sale. Yeah.
it's a pre-sale. Those pre-sales work really well when you're a fiction author, when you're an authority in your area. It doesn't really work so much for people whose book is like their first book. I never publish as a pre-sale. Even now, after 40 plus books, I never bother. I organize my launch way before I hit publish, the book goes live, and then all of the launch, right, that I've prepped happens at that point. So pre-sales are not useful as a brand new author.
Okay.
You don't have to publish that way.
Good to know.
The book
Thank
sits
you.
there. Yeah, people generally, if you have a big database of people, fantastic, do it. Because then you can really promote it to a ton of people. But if you don't, it makes no difference. Makes no difference to us.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Good question.
Karina, I was on another session a while ago. It's a tutorial, and they were talking about using Amazon. Absolutely, for sure, you got to be on Amazon for the exposure. But to eliminate this problem of getting blocked and you don't have your customer list, especially in my case and some others where you've maybe got a good database of people who might be prospects for the book, they suggested having it on your own private session or go with a book publisher webpage and system. So you're on Amazon for the exposure and some sales, but other sales could be also generated in a parallel, more platform where you have more control over the sales and over the client list and all the data. What's your thoughts on that?
If you're a subject matter expert, so you have a business, you're an entrepreneur, you're a consultant, you're a coach, you teach, you have courses, 100% you can do that. That's an add-on. Amazon is the biggest book store in the world,
Yeah.
bar none. So if you're not selling on Amazon first, you're making peanuts unless you're famous, period, right? So you must be on Amazon first. You can sell on other sites as an add-on, and you can also sell on your own website. Absolutely. Nobody will say don't do it. Do it. In order for you to sell volumes, right? To compare, like comparable to what you would sell on Amazon, you must have a large database, and that's over 10,000 people minimum, or you must be in business and you have a big following. That is the only real way for you to make good money on your own website. Publishing through a small publishing company, you will make no money. Any small company that is out there that's trying to sell you, publish through them. I've had 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when I did a workshop, I had a guy here named actually Paul. I don't know if it's a not different Paul, the same Paul, but that's the situation. Wasn't making money, just the company, there's a big sales pitch and people don't end up making a cent. Not only that, they publish incorrectly. So there's a lot involved in publishing correctly. There's a reason why I'm still in publishing 8 years ago, right? When I started, because it takes time to learn how to do the process correctly. It really does take time. But the beauty is once you know for life, right? You know forever. You can publish so many books the right way. But it's taken me at least 2 years to learn it correctly. You know, my first book got lucky. My first book went bestseller in 3 weeks. By the grace of God, I think. I got really lucky. And then I failed a lot before I developed a formula that I can now take every book to a bestseller. That took a long time. Make sense? I hope I answered that. What percentage sell as hard copy versus Kindle? Doug, they're done for different reasons. So Kindle is done generally for promotion, Kindle is there, one, to help you promote, and two, there are people who read books on their laptops and, who want to buy them for $2.99 or whatever. Most people will buy the paperback. The hardcover is available only because there are people still in the world who absolutely love hardcovers, and I am one of them. I love hardcover books. So we always have 3 available. There is no percentage that makes more sense. You need to have all 3 available, all for all books.
Would you also say you need to have an audiobook as part of the package?
100%.
Is it better to have the author do the
Nope.
reading?
Hire somebody on audible.com, please. Don't do the reading. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. If you need to get a hold of me, you know how. You can also reply to the email that you received. My email is there. Any emails that you get from me, can I ask for a huge favor? I just sent out a survey. If you could please fill it out so that I know where you are at in your journey and what type of topics you need me to go over in the following workshops that I will have. I will really, really, really highly appreciate it. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a fantastic end of your week, and I'll see you soon.